What's up, everybody? How's it going? Austin Practal Bay Performance, coming at you live today. I hope you guys can hear me. Got my mic again, giving it a go. Uh, but yeah, so happy Tuesday, everybody. Let's jump into the live today. So as you guys are tuning in, make sure to give this video a like so that way other people can get the chance to see it. Helps the algorithm, like I talked about. Make sure to leave a comment. Let me know how your day is going. Yeah, so let's jump into this topic of feeling like you're starving whenever you're losing weight. Like anytime anybody has ever gone through some sort of fitness or weight loss journey, there comes a time where you're gonna feel hungry. Right? Feeling hungry is a normal part of losing weight because at the end of the day, whenever you think about it, weight loss in a sense is technically like controlled starvation in a sense. If you want to think about it in kind of like a weird dark way, that is what it is. And so the goal of trying to lose weight and make it as in terms of being like sustainable and making sure that it's something that you can do long term. Because at the end of the day, there's no point in losing all that weight if you're going to gain it all back, right? Unless that's like your goal for whatever reason. But that's why whenever I work with my clients, I try to make sure that they're eating literally as much food as possible. Sometimes they say that I'm giving them too much food, and I'm like, no, you eat that food. And in doing so, it makes it way more enjoyable and way less stressful to lose weight at the end of the day. I'm just going to give you guys some helpful tips in terms of how to really maximize like your weight loss journey in terms of not feeling like you're starving to death the whole time. And so I'm going to be talking about some helpful tips that I have learned over the years and that I think will benefit you guys. So, yeah, let's just kind of jump into it. But before I get started, if you are somebody who has ever tried losing weight before, have you ever felt like you were hungry? Like, have you ever felt like you were like really hungry? Like, let me know in the comments. Like, let me know. Like, have you felt, like, has that been a reason, right? Why you quit? Because you felt like you couldn't eat, or you felt like you were really hungry, or you felt like miserable because you were starving yourself with some sort of like crash diet or something like that. Because that's super common. That's super common for like a lot of people as to why they quit their diet or their fitness journeys because it got too difficult. It got too stressful. It got too restrictive. They felt like they were missing out. They felt like they were like like withering away. And hunger is an extremely like loud driving factor in terms of just our our biology, right? Like when you're hungry, when you're really hungry, it's almost like there's like a voice in your head yelling like feed me. And so especially if you're somebody who has struggled with like going through like show prep or things like that, if you're somebody who has gone through preparing for like a physique competition or something like that, or you've gone through drastic weight loss or things like that, like the hunger is real. The hunger is real. Like I have never I yeah, it can get pretty intense at times, and so that a lot of times leads to people quitting their diet or their journey. And so that's what we want to avoid. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some tips to help you get through that weight loss to without feeling like you're starving all the time. I want to preface too, like feeling hungry is normal. Hunger is a normal like human experience. It is something that happens. It's there for a reason. But making sure that you're not totally freaking miserable all the time, like that is important too, right? So here are some tips for you guys that I think are really helpful for making sure that your weight loss journey doesn't have to suck as much as it might be right now. So um, just to start off, like the first thing like that anybody who is wanting to lose weight, figure out some low calorie dense foods, like low calorie foods that are dense, low calorie foods that are really satiating when it comes to making you feel full. Because if you are like if your stomach isn't like very full, if you're eating foods that are really like high calorie dense, but they're like really like again high calorie, but not very dense, you're going to eat that and it's not going to fill you up very much, but you're going to be eating a lot of calories, so you're going to want to eat more food, and so you're just increasing your calorie intake. And at the end of the day, like again, thinking about it this way, calories in, calories out. It's all about energy balance. The fewer calories that you can consume while still feeling full, that is the name of the game. So you need to figure out some recipes that are, or recipes or foods that are very high in making you feel full, high satiety, but also low calorie. And so things like, adding like gelatin to certain foods, or eating like a bunch of jello, or adding, you can add gelatin to certain like protein powder, like ice cream, like basically kind of like a fruit smoothie thing. And that will add a lot of volume to a food source while still while still keeping the calories pretty low. So that's something that you can do. Other things like cruciferous vegetables like high volume foods, like you can eat a whole head of broccoli, and that's not that many calories versus eating a whole like whatever like bowl of rice or mashed potatoes or something like that. Like that's gonna be quite a bit more calories than eating something like that. I'm not saying go out and eat a whole head of lettuce, but whenever I've been pretty like deep into a cut and I'm like, getting pretty damn lean, you know what? Like I'm probably gonna eat that whole head of lettuce, and I would rather eat that whole head of lettuce and feel full and satisfied than eat a bunch of like a bowl of ice cream and ruin my nutrition plan and set myself back. Right? Like it's all about like what matters to you in that moment and what's important to you at that moment. But finding that balance. I'm not saying go out and do that. I'm just saying that there have been times when can consume things like that are going to be really low calorie. They're going to make you feel full, like a head of like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, things like most leafy green or most green vegetables are going to be pretty low calorie, like spinach, kale, lettuce, other things like that. That you can have on a daily basis and use that as some sort of like filler food to help you feel satisfied. Another thing too, though, lean protein. Lean protein is so high. It's so one, it's high in protein, so you're getting your protein, and two, you're going to be like protein. If you guys don't know this, like focusing on high protein foods, protein has the highest satiety out of any of the other macros. So carbs, fats, out of carbs, fats, and protein, protein is the number one that makes you feel the fullest. It also has the highest thermic effect of food, which I've talked about in the past, which means that your body burns more or uses more energy just to process protein than it does to carbs and fats. So eating high protein foods, also eating high density or high volume foods that are low in calorie can help you feel a lot full for a lot longer. So that way you're way less likely to snack. You're way less likely to feel really hungry and binge or mess up on your diet or your nutrition plan. And that also helps big time too. So things also high in fiber. Again, like high fiber foods, typically like I said, cruciferous vegetables. Those are really high in fiber. Those help you feel full. Also bonus, they help you stay regular, so that's cool too. But yeah, another tip: don't drink your calories. Don't drink your freaking calories. Don't drink. You can have some in moderation. You can have soda or whatever. You can have it in moderation. I'm not saying, I'm not demonizing those things because at the end of the day, again, calories are king. But don't drink your calories. Like, don't drink like, if you drink like a soda, that's like 150 calories right then and there that didn't satisfy you at all. And actually, a lot of studies have shown that like high sugary like drinks and things like that actually increase hunger. So it's kind of like you're double screwing yourself because one, you're drinking your high calorie foods that aren't very satiating, and two, it just makes you hungrier. So avoid things like that. Like drink a low calorie or like artificially or like a artificial like sweetener with your drink, and just stick to low calorie or no calorie drinks. Don't drink your calories. Like it's going to, unless it's a protein shake. Like protein shakes are kind of in a different like kind of gray area because they do help increase or decrease your like hunger. Like they're pretty like because it's almost all protein. It does help kind of keep you satisfied and satiated for longer. So that's one caveat to drinking your calories. But just avoid drinking your calories if you can. Eat solid foods. Eating solid foods are going to make you feel more full for longer. Another thing, coffee. Drink coffee. Drink some coffee. Drink some black coffee. Don't drink a bunch of or like some with some like a little like artificial again sweetener, low calorie, no calorie sweetener. Um, but drinking coffee because it has caffeine in it. Caffeine is an appetite suppressant. If I drink a cup or two of black coffee, I can go a whole ass day without eating. I just can. I don't have to eat if I drink a cup or two of black coffee. Obviously, I don't do that because that's not optimal for me right now. But if you drink black coffee or like a coffee without a ton of sugar and stuff in it, like it will suppress your appetite for a long period of time. That's why people, whenever they get on different like ADHD medications and things like that, like they have an appetite suppressing effect. Any kind of like stimulant like that will suppress your appetite and will just basically kill it and make you not hungry. And so, having a cup or two of black coffee throughout your day can really help stave off that hunger to help you reach, later point in the day to eat your foods then. If you're waiting for, a certain point of the day to eat. So drinking coffee, like that's another good option. Drinking coffee has helped me a ton during my weight loss phases to help keep my hunger at bay to get me through the day. And so, yeah. Another thing, drink water. Drink water. Drink lots of water throughout the day. Not only is it going to keep you hydrated, but it's also going to help, fill up and take up space in your stomach, so you're going to be less likely to overeat. It might help with sending fullness signals to you before you overeat. So also like chew like your food more slowly, like one that's good for digestion, but then also chewing more slowly, taking time before, take a couple minutes after you've had your first plate of food before you go and get your second food. If you wait a little bit, you're probably going to give your stomach enough time to send signals like, okay, like take it easy on that second plate if you're going to get it, or maybe don't get it at all. That sort of stuff can help as well. Things like that. There's other tricks like plating your food differently that you can do. You can plate your food instead of having like, 3 strawberries like sitting on your plate and you're like, oh shit, that's all I get. Cut those strawberries up into slices and spread it out along your food. Sometimes it can play your eyes can play a trick on your brain a little bit and on your stomach a little bit and make you feel a little bit more satisfied, like you're getting to eat more instead of being like, oh, all I've got is like 3 strawberries to eat. Not that anybody should ever only be eating like just 3 strawberries, but for an example, but you'd be like, ah, cool, look at this whole plate of strawberries. Like mind games with yourself, playing mind games with yourself can help too, to helping you not feel freaking hungry all the time whenever you're trying to lose weight. Yeah, and so other things like that. Honestly, at the end of the day, like just learn to be okay with like a little bit of hunger, right? Like being hungry is not a bad thing, right? Being hungry is not an innately like negative thing. It's not like we're out in the woods and you're like, lost out in the woods and you're trying to like survive, right? Your brain doesn't know that, or like your body and your brain and your stomach don't know that. But you know that too. And sometimes it's just, taking a step back and being like, am I actually hungry right now, or like am I bored? Because a lot of times like, for me, if especially if you're like me, like if you don't have a whole lot going on, like keeping yourself busy like is another thing that can really help with avoiding that snacky kind of like bored eating. So yeah, so these are just some helpful tips for you guys. Like this is what I would do. Like focus on finding some very low calorie but also very high satiating foods that you can consume and that you're happy with eating on a daily basis, and that's going to go a long way to making this a much more sustainable journey for yourself. So yeah, guys, that's all that I have for you guys today. But yeah, other than that, I hope that you guys got value from this. I was gonna say too, just find some foods that you really enjoy on a regular basis, that you can consume and feel comfortable consuming regularly, and that will take you guys a long way in your fitness journey. Don't starve yourself. Don't overly restrict. Eat as much food as you possibly can while you're trying to lose weight, and it will not only be way more sustainable, but it will also be way more enjoyable. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I will talk to you guys later. Give this a like, hashtag replay if you're watching this later time, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. See ya.